ये जो प्रीफेस है ये यहाँ से पढ़ सकते हैं।
जी
हाँ रोशन ब्रो, आप पढ़ रहे हैं क्या?
जी जी प्रभु, एक सेकंड बस। Ocean of Mercy by His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj. Preface. Undeniably, it is love that is most powerful force in life, and it follows that at the core of all religion and genuine spirituality is some form of love, some cultivation of the heart. The author of this work shares the early events of his life that led him to the life of a monk in Krishna Bhakti tradition of Chaitanya school of Vaishnavism, the part of Hindu tradition which focuses on the love and worship of Vishnu, or more specifically, the loving devotion taught and exemplified by the medieval mystic and divine incarnation Sri Chaitanya, 1486 to 1534, in his ultimate vision of the intimate divinities of Radha and Krishna. Certainly, Krishna Bhakti is a tradition that resonates with the biblical Johannine expression, God is love. But the Krishna Bhakti tradition takes this expression further because it ultimately asserts that love is God. The expression is reversed because in the final vision, love subsumes both God and the soul. Love conquers them both together. This is a tradition that worships not only the personal, intimate, supreme feminine and masculine divinity, but amazingly, even more than this, it worships the supreme sentiment of love, rasa, more than anything else. This supreme power of love, yogamaya, that is exchanged between the yet subsumes both Radha and Krishna. हरे कृष्ण। रोजी, हम इधर दो दो पैराग्राफ करके पढ़ेंगे कैसे?
हाँ, जो भी बेस्ट हो, 2 पैराग्राफ या 4 पैराग्राफ देख लो।
जी
4 पैराग्राफ अच्छा,
पैराग्राफ
4 पैराग्राफ
जी
अच्छा रहेगा।
जी। The author of this book offers a glimpse into the key experiences in his early family life in Bengal that would shape his relationship in his devotional community later on in life. Our author loses the wonderful love of his mother too early in his life, and the love of a father that was never forthcoming. In his young adulthood, Bhakticharu Swami finds a new family of devotional monks and their collective father, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of the Hare Krishna movement, the first institution to spread Krishna Bhakti's principles, practices, and way of life globally. This work this work recounts the author's experiences in his relationship with Srila Prabhupada and with brother disciples during the last couple of years before Prabhupada passed away. In November of 1977, this work also conveys how Prabhupada guided the author to be a renunciate, a monk in the Vaishnava tradition, specifically guiding him away from the worldly responsibilities of family life and from any connection with women. But most importantly, this work describes how the author developed a humble love and dedication to Srila Prabhupada, who gave him a life of Krishna Bhakti and thus revealed himself to be truly an ocean of mercy. Next, Raunak Pro, आप पढ़ सकते हैं।
Sure, bro. Uh, Bhakticharu Swami, Bhakticharu Swami's words are a testament to his discovery of a source of the love that would, in fact, fulfill his search of lost loves in the earlier portion of his life. The relationships with his mother, relatives, friends, caring god brothers, and ultimately his spiritual master represent phases in our author's search of love. And thus, a search fulfilled is a appropriate subtitle of Ocean of Mercy. I would suggest that the author is ultimately led to finding such an ocean in his own heart through the various loves in his life, cul- culminating in the love of his spiritual master. For his search would be comprised of unlimited acts of grace, Kripa Sindhu. These shifts between his different loves constitute his search, and the fulfillment of such a search would bring our author to the point of realizing that this ocean of love is within his own heart. Although Bhakti Charu Swami lost his spiritual master's physical presence so many years ago, I am very aware that the Swami has offered himself very lovingly more and more as a spiritual father to so many who wish to tread the path of Krishna Bhakti. Graham M. Squake, PhD, Garuda Das, author translator of Dance of Divine Love, the Rasalila of Krishna from the Bhagavad Puran, Princeton University Press 2005. Forward. Ocean of Mercy is a unique memorial. We are given entrance into the fascinating story of tragedy, adventure, and grace through the eyes of His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami. It begins with a young Indian boy from Calcutta whose loving mother is stricken with a contagious disease and soon passes away when the boy most craved her love and care. Almost immediately after her passing, his family fell from grand riches into poverty. Just after his basic education, he abandoned his home seeking adventure and friendship. He yearned to embrace the alluring promises of the Western world, leaving behind what he considered the backward third world society of India. While traveling all overland and sea to Europe, he discovered everything he longed for and more. But at the peak of his euphoria, something happened while he was in Germany. One of his newfound American friend insulted him, condemning its poverty, disease, and social atrophy. For the first time in his life, the boy felt love for the country of his birth and freely tried to defend the dignity of the India. He realized how little he knew. It was then that he was experienced a burning hunger to understand the spiritual and cultural riches of his birthplace. After delving into book after book, he decided to leave the West behind and return to India as a sadhu, a wandering spiritual monk in the Himalayas. हरे कृष्णा हिमांशु आप पढ़ सकते हैं
While on his pilgrimage for truth, he came to Krishna conscious movement. At that time, there were thousands of devotees in the movement who had given their whole lives to serve their Guru, His Divine Grace A.P. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Each of them could give anything for even a movement or their beloved Guru's association. A couple of months after joining, the author personally met Srila Prabhupada, who showered him with affection. Upon their first meeting, Srila Prabhupada requested him to translate all his books into Bengali, the native language of the movement's spiritual heritage, as well as Srila Prabhupada's own mother tongue. A few weeks later, he was given the service of assisting Srila Prabhupada in all Bengali and Hindi correspondence, and he became Prabhupada's personal secretary for all of India. Srila Prabhupada loved and trusted him. Within the first few months of his bhakti, loving devotional service to Lord Sri Krishna, he became Prabhupada's personal assistant and cook, and remained among the 3 or 4 disciples who made up Prabhupada's personal entourage. In those few months, he was awarded Harinav initiation, Gayatri Diksha, and initiation into renowned order of Sannyas. What makes this so special is that all 3 initiations were given to only a few senior leaders, and then only after many years of sacrifice. In Ocean of Mercy, we are transported into the intimate pastimes of Srila Prabhupada as he preached to the masses, guided individuals, and responded to various challenges as a powerful world acharya, spiritual exemplar and teacher. Yet we are also shown Srila Prabhupada would reveal his love as a tender-hearted, humble spiritual father and friend. Bhakti Charuswami takes us by the hand and brings us into Srila Prabhupada's private quarters at time to his bedside during the final year of his physical presence. In doing so, through his own devoted eyes, the Swami gives us entrance into what only few have seen. As I read this book, I was astonished and enlightened. I laughed and I cried as I was carried into the personal presence of Srila Prabhupada through this beautiful gift of his loving servant, Radha Swami. So, should I read or no one else will read? Hare Krishna.
राहुल प्रो आप पढ़ सकते हैं.
Hare Krishna. Introduction. The ancient Vedas of India, which contain the world's oldest and most profound spiritual wisdom, state that human life begins when one sincerely inquires, who am I? Where did I came from? What is the purpose of my existence? These three questions are called Brahma Jigyasa or spiritual inquiry. They can be properly answered only by a bona fide spiritual master. Therefore, the actual search begins when one starts to look for such a teacher. I was a student in Europe when I began to feel the urge to find such a teacher, and I returned to India to begin my search. Up until then, my life had been like that of a weary traveler who had lost his way in the middle of the desert. I was running after a mirage to quench my thirst, trying to enjoy this world of illusion. But the more I ran after this mirage, the further it receded, and the more I tried to enjoy, the more I suffered. After a long and disappointing journey to many places of pilgrimage, I finally met the divine personality who would lead me out of this world of ignorance to the light of knowledge. That divine personality was my eternal spiritual master, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. He informed me that I was running after a mirage, where I would never find water to quench my thirst, and led me in the direction of an oasis, and not just an oasis, but an ocean of nectar, Krishna consciousness. During one morning walk along Bombay's Juhu Beach, Srila Prabhupada pointed to some beautifully groomed, well-behaved dogs belonging to people walking along the beach, and he asked his disciples, "What's the difference between these dogs and those stray dogs? Dogs, dirty and unkept, barking at the passerby." When no one could answer, Prabhupada said, "These dogs have their masters, whereas those don't." Srila Prabhupada had described my situation perfectly. Before I met him, I was a stray dog, unkempt and dirty, wandering around aimlessly and engaging in useless activities. But as soon as I came into contact with him, I found the purpose of my existence and was elevated to life that I could never imagine. In 1979, in New York, one of my godbrothers, Yogeshwar Prabhu, invited me to a program over Long Island to speak about my days with Srila Prabhupada. When we were driving back to New York's 55th Street Temple, Yogeshwar expressed how much he had liked my talk and how everyone had appreciated it. He reminded me how important it was for devotees to hear about Srila Prabhupada, especially his final days when he withdrew from the world, a period when I had the good fortune of spending many hours personally serving him. प्रभु जी पढ़ सकते हैं.
पुरुषोत्तम प्रभु, हरे कृष्णा, आप पढ़ सकते हैं। हरे कृष्णा पुरुषोत्तम प्रभु, मेरी आवाज आ रही है आपको? शायद वो सुन नहीं पा रहे हैं। प्रकाश प्रभु, हरे कृष्णा।
हरे कृष्णा ब्रो।
प्रकाश प्रभु,
हाँ ब्रो, कैन यू हियर मी ब्रो?
हरे कृष्णा ब्रो जी, आवाज आ रही है?
प्लीज
Back at the temple,
दोनों
devotees asked me to relate my memories of Srila Prabhupada to them as well. Seeing their interest, the temple president Lakshmi Narasimha Prabhu requested me to speak on His Divine Grace on one evening, which extended into 3 evenings. From Newark, I traveled to Toronto for Vishwakarma Prabhu, in the temple president, had already heard about my classes and requested me to speak to the devotees there. Again, the evening programs went on for 3 days. The descriptions became more detailed, and I could see how they deeply moved the devotees. On the third day, when I described how Srila Prabhupada left this planet, many devotees broke down in tears. From then now, wherever I went, devotees wanted to hear from me about His divine grace and His final days. About 10 years ago, one of my disciples, Dina Krishnan Das from London, arranged a podcast of me speaking about my experiences with Prabhupada, and the podcast was also well received. Further, Jai Devika Swami, Ravindra Swarup Prabhu, and several other Garbhodas of mine were encouraging me to write a book. Few devotees knew about Srila Prabhupada's final days, they pointed out. Still, I hesitated to commit myself to the task because of my constant engagement as an initiating guru and spiritual leader in the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. More recently, some of my disciples added their voices to those urging me to publish my memories of that time. Ranga Radhika Devi Dasi transcribed the lecture I had given and arranged them into an 80-page manuscript, which would eventually form the basis of this book. When I had completed a draft recounting my experiences with Srila Prabhupada, my dear friend and scholarly godbrother, Garuda Prabhu, Dr. Graham Squitch, recommended another friend of ours, Dr. Carl Hedge Kalachandika Prabhu, as editor. Kalachandi, a professor of English at an American university, accepted the assignment but also suggested that I include a brief account of my early life. I was initially reluctant because the book was meant to be a glorification of my spiritual master, not my autobiography. But he convinced me that readers would naturally like to know about me and my spiritual journey before I met my spiritual master. That led to the first chapter. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा ब्रो, दंडवत प्रणाम। आवाज आ रही है ब्रो?
जी ब्रो, आपकी आवाज आ
Yes,
रही है।
bro.
Then Devamrit Swami, a close friend and the manager of the Australia or New Zealand branch of Bhakti Vedanta Book Trust (BBT), suggested that the BBT might be willing to print the book, and I was delighted and honored when Subhas Prabhu, another dear friend and a BBT trustee, agreed to print it for the North American BBT with the involvement of BBT editor Dravid Prabhu and designer and layout artist Archita Prabhu. Mrutyunjay Chatterjee, head of an advertising company in India, suggested illustrating some of the book's incidents. In that effort, he engaged Tapas Kanti Mitra, a well-known artist from Calcutta, who also painted the cover image. Radha Binodin Dasi,
a disciple of mine from Australia, gave some valuable input toward to the end of the production work. When I gave her the final manuscript to read, Rasa Bihari Krishnadas, a disciple of mine from London, donated the cost of printing. I am deeply indebted to so many dear devotees who have made it possible for me to make this humble offering to my spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, who is indeed an ocean of mercy. The shelter of his lotus feet has made my life's mission a success. Then, 1. On the road, 1945 to 1975. I was always drawn to spiritual life. As a child, I loved to sit with my mother on the roof at night, gazing up at the star-filled sky as she pointed out celestial planets and fascinated me with stories about the inhabitants, divine beings with incredible powers. I longed to go and meet them. A pious Hindu, my mother worshipped many gods and goddesses, but she taught me to have faith in Krishna and Ram, to depend on them and call out to them when I was afraid or sad or distressed. My father was educated, progressive, and westernized, with little spiritual interest. He had found success in the pioneering stages of the Indian film industry, and material prosperity was his main concern. We lived in an affluent neighborhood in Calcutta, and though motor cars were rare in those days, my father had two, one for local transport and a G for outdoor work, such as shooting on location. While his brothers took public transport and wore dhoti and kurta, traditional Indian wear, he wore three-piece suits and was driven to work by a chauffeur. He was my hero and I was proud of him. But most of his time was taken up by his career, about which he was passionate. He worked late and I saw little of him.
Hare Krishna, Dilip bro. दिलीप ब्रो अगर आप सुन पा रहे हैं तो कृपया अगर पढ़ना शुरू कर सकते हैं.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Yes, bro, start.
Okay. When I was 7, my mother contracted tuberculosis and my family was separated to avoid contagion. My younger sister was sent to an aunt's house, and my older brother and I went to live with my father's elder sister. She was a widow whose 8 children were all grown up, and she showered us with love and affection. She was also an excellent vegetarian cook who cooked to serve others and developed a liking for her dishes. But I missed my mother. I knew she was sick, but I did not understand why we could not be together. One day during a birthday party of my cousin, I sneaked out to see her. When I looked into her room, she was sitting up in bed, propped up by pillows, with her eyes closed. I stood at the doorway, not sure whether to approach her, but when she opened her eyes, I could see her looks of happy surprise, and she beckoned to me to come closer. She thought someone had brought me, but when I told her that I had snuck away and come by myself, she hugged me and started to cry. I laid my head on her lap and she kissed me, tears crushing down her cheeks. Then she drew me in and held me in a tight embrace, comforting me with the warm beating of her heart. A few days later, one of my uncle came to fetch my brother and me from our aunts. I thought we might be going to see our mother, but when we went to put on our shoes, our uncle told us not to. I could tell that something was wrong. I don't know what had happened, but my brother broke down crying. He understood that family members were not supposed to touch any inauspicious object, including leather, when someone had died. We arrived at house to find several relatives gathered, all looking grave. Upstairs, our mother was laid out on her bed, her eyes closed, flower garlands around her neck, and colorful bouquets surrounding her body. Her face was decorated with sandalwood paste, and a bright red sindoor dot marked the center of her brow. She looked so beautiful. I thought so peaceful. I thought so peaceful, as if she were sleeping. At some point, I felt a gentle hand on her on my shoulder and was uh, ushered out of the room. As I entered the living room, I heard some of my relatives start to cry, but I could not look at anyone. I just stood at the window, staring out at the next door garden. That's when it all came to me. Tears streamed from my eyes, and I broke down, sobbing. I would never see my mother again. My mother passing, my mother's passing affected all the circumstances of my life. My father lost interest in everything, even us, and stopped doing anything to earn money or to maintain the household. He became depressed, feeling that he was responsible for my mother's illness and death, having neglected her in favor of his career. Even my aunt's house was no longer the same. She and our cousins were as affectionate as ever, but it just felt different. It was not my home. I felt I do not belong. I had always been an excellent student and received praises for my intelligence. So the plan had been to send me to one of the best boarding schools in India, in foothills of the Himalaya. But with my father's financial downturn, that was no longer possible, and I was enrolled in instead in a local day school. I was It was so common. I thought so ordinary. I wanted to attend the private school where the students dressed in nice uniform and studied everything in English, taught by teachers from England. I became obsessed with the idea. I wanted to learn English and be like an Englishman, like my father had been before my mother's passing. I
Hare
just
Krishna.
could not generate my
Prabhuji,
enthusiasm.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Prabhuji, रंजन प्रभु पढ़ सकते हैं शायद अभी।
Okay, okay.
Yes, प्रभु। रंजन प्रभु, आपको मेरी आवाज आ रही है? रंजन प्रभु, आप प्लीज पढ़िए।
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु दंडवत प्रणाम।
पढ़िए प्रभु जी।
हरे कृष्णा।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, पढ़िए प्रभु जी।
प्रभु ये शेयर नहीं हो रहा है।
आपके पास पीडीएफ नहीं है क्या प्रभु?
हरे कृष्णा। हरे वो शेयर कर। I had always been. I just could not generate any enthusiasm for my school or interest in my studies. As had been true at my aunt's house, I felt that it was the wrong place for me, that I did not belong, and as a result, I failed my annual exams and did not get promoted to the next grade. The day I found out, I sat alone in my classroom caring I could not go home. I was too embarrassed. When I left school, I wandered um, aimlessly, aimlessly, eventually finding myself on the bank of the Ganga, uh, considering what to do. Then I noticed the railroad station on other side. नेक्स्ट कीजिए of the of the river. That's it. I thought I would take the train to the boarding school in the in the foothills. Promise the principal that I would be good and beg beg him to let me stay. Instead, I ran back to my aunt's. It was still afternoon, so the house was quiet and sneaked in through the back door, uh, grabbed some things and em- emptied, emptied my pig bank and found more money in my cousin's draw, drawer. drawer, uh, drawer. Then I slipped out and thus said to the station, seeing a young boy along the thick, thick ticketing cloud was suspicious, but I told him that I was returning to school. When he asked why no one was no one was with me I said that my mother had died and that my father had meant to come with me, but had been called away by some unforeseen business. I was used to traveling alone. I told him I could manage on my own, so he gave me a ticket and let me pass. I used the same story on my co-passengers, and an hour later, I was heading north in search of the boarding school of my dreams. That night, still on the train, after having fallen asleep, I was gently awakened by someone shaking my arm. When I looked up, I saw that the train had stopped at a junction and I was surrounded by a group of passengers accom- ac- accompanied by a police officer. This time, when asked who I was and where I was going, I did not dare lie. When the officer heard my story, he took me to the local station and phoned my father. I did not want to talk to him, but when the officer insisted, I took the phone and then broke down crying. After the officer explained the
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु
situation,
सौरभ प्रभु पढ़ सकते हैं यहाँ से प्रभु जी.
Prabhuji. After the officer explained the situation to my father, he took me to his home nearby, where his wife fed me and put me to sleep. I stayed the next day as well, almost entirely in bed. They were very nice to me, but alone in their room, I felt like a criminal who had been arrested. That night, my father came to take me back to Calcutta. Then he sat with me, and we had the longest talk I could remember having with him. He told me how much he loved me and how much confidence he had in me. No matter what I had done, he said he knew that I was a good boy and would never do anything really bad. My mother had loved me. He assured me she still did. Then he sat silently as I cried out the agony of separation. The next few days, I just stayed in my room, unsure what would come next. My aunt was still loving and supportive, but things had changed, and everyone around me realized that something had to be done. It was decided that I would be sent to an uncle in the small town of Khowai in Tripura, about 5,500 kilometers east across the border in Bangladesh. Kovai was a quiet little town on the bank of a river, surrounded by mountains. People knew each other and seemed to lead simple, happy lives. Unlike his brothers, my uncle had chosen business over education, and he had become quite successful supplying jute to the mills in Calcutta. Everyone in the town treated him with affectionate respect. Shubham Prabhu, you can continue.
मुझे आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही।
साउंड नहीं आ रहा ना?
हाँ शुभम प्रभु हरि बोल, आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही ब्रो जी।
संबित प्रभु भी हैं शायद।
संबित प्रभु का थोड़ा अभिषेक प्रभु भी आए हैं। संबित प्रभु का शायद कुछ प्रॉब्लम है, वो कह रहे थे उनका थ्रोट पेन हो रहा है तो वो नहीं पढ़ पाएंगे। अभिषेक प्रभु पढ़ दी। हरे कृष्णा अभिषेक प्रभु। प्रभु आप पढ़ सकते हैं।
प्रभु जी जो ग्रुप में छोड़ा गया है।
जी जी प्रभु मैं दिखाता हूँ। रोशन प्रभु, हाँ आपका स्क्रीन अभी नजर आ रहा है प्रभु, लेकिन थोड़ा सा साइड। देखिए हरे कृष्ण अभिषेक प्रभु स्क्रीन पे नजर आ रहा है। तो आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही है। आपकी आवाज अच्छे से नहीं आ रही ब्रो, कट भी रही है।
ओके
रोशन ब्रो फिर से रिपीट करेंगे ऑर्डर।
हिमांशु प्रो है ना, हिमांशु प्रो ने नहीं पढ़ा शायद।
हिमांशु पढ़ चुके हैं, सब पढ़ चुके हैं।
जी जी ठीक है, तो मैं
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी आवाज आ रही है?
जी ब्रो जी अभी आ रही है।
आ रही है जी।
ठीक है, ऑलरेडी
प्रभु
टाइम
जी
हो
कहाँ
गया
से
है,
पढ़ना है?
कल पढ़ेंगे। हरे कृष्णा ऑलरेडी टाइम हो गया है। आवाज आ रही है, कौन पढ़ेगा करके करते थोड़ा समझ में आगे कल से पढ़ेंगे। ठीक है, याद रखना, कहाँ से इसको बुकमार्क कर लेना।
जी
ओहो, परम पूज्य भक्ति जो महाराज की
जय,
जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की, नेता गौर प्रेमानंदे।
जय।
डेरी वो